Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Battleverse. Today we're diving deep into one of the most extraordinary naval encounters in modern history, an incident that revealed the gap between ambition and reality, when China decided to challenge a United States Navy ship, a decision that many analysts, sailors, and defense experts later described as a big mistake. Naval warfare has always been a delicate balance of power, technology, and strategy, but when a rising power attempts to test the most powerful navy in the world, the results often tell us more about the future of global conflict than the moment itself. This story is not just about a single confrontation at sea, but about what makes a U.S. Navy warship a symbol of dominance, why its presence carries a warning to adversaries, and how the exterior, the interior, its performance, safety features, unique selling points, immense cost, and its ultimate role on the world stage combine into a force that is almost impossible to rival. To begin, imagine the scene: vast open waters, the sound of waves crashing, the horizon stretching endlessly, and there on the ocean's surface sits one of the most advanced and intimidating machines of modern warfare, a U.S. Navy destroyer. Its sharp angular lines, radar-absorbing materials, and towering structure make it stand out as both futuristic and deadly. The exterior of the ship is built not just to inspire confidence in those who serve aboard, but to instill doubt in anyone daring to approach. Every single feature on the outside of the ship has been carefully designed with purpose. The deck bristles with missile launchers capable of firing long-range precision weapons, the mast rises high with advanced radar systems that can track objects hundreds of miles away, and the hull itself is shaped in ways that reduce its radar cross-section, making it harder for enemies to even detect. When viewed through the lens of an adversary, the sheer sight of the ship is like staring at a fortress floating on the sea. The exterior reflects power, speed, and stealth, the three qualities that separate the U.S. Navy from almost every other naval force on the planet. Inside the ship, things are just as remarkable, though far more practical. The bridge is the nerve center where officers and sailors work with cutting-edge digital systems, integrating navigation, intelligence, and real-time battlefield awareness. Every button, every screen, every display connects to a larger web of communication satellites, drones, and command networks that make the ship not just an isolated vessel, but part of a larger war machine spanning the globe. Further below, crew members live and work in tight quarters designed for efficiency rather than luxury. The dining areas, sleeping bunks, and corridors may seem simple, but they are built to keep sailors functional, alert, and ready at a moment's notice. The engineering spaces house the power plant that drives the ship across oceans, while weapons bays and control rooms are manned by trained specialists capable of responding instantly to threats. Though the interior is not glamorous, it reflects a philosophy: everything on the inside is designed to maximize readiness, coordination, and survivability. The performance of such a ship is where its legend truly comes alive. These vessels are capable of traveling thousands of miles without refueling, moving at speeds that make them almost untouchable by older naval platforms. Their propulsion systems are designed for both endurance and agility, meaning they can sustain long deployments while maneuvering quickly in contested waters. But performance is not just about speed and range, it is about what the ship can do once it is in position. Equipped with vertical launch systems that can carry dozens of missiles, these ships can engage targets on land, in the air, on the surface, and even beneath the waves. They can launch Tomahawk cruise missiles at enemy bases, deploy anti-air missiles to shoot down incoming threats, and unleash anti-submarine torpedoes to protect against underwater dangers. Performance is also about resilience, the ability to operate continuously in all weather conditions, across all oceans, while sustaining high levels of operational readiness. No matter the challenge, these ships are built to keep fighting. Safety is another defining factor. For China, challenging a U.S. Navy ship meant testing an opponent that is not only powerful offensively but nearly untouchable defensively. Layered defense systems protect the vessel from threats of all kinds. Long-range radar can detect incoming missiles from great distances, allowing defensive systems to prepare in advance. Aegis combat systems integrate multiple weapons platforms to track and neutralize dozens of threats simultaneously. Close-in weapon systems, often described as giant machine guns firing thousands of rounds per minute, can shred incoming missiles in seconds. Electronic warfare capabilities can jam or confuse enemy systems, rendering attacks ineffective before they even reach the ship. And should the worst happen, the ship's crew is highly trained in damage control, capable of sealing off affected compartments, restoring power, and continuing the mission even after sustaining hits that would sink most other ships. Safety is not a secondary feature, it is built into the DNA of every U.S. Navy warship, making them not just powerful but enduring. What sets these ships apart from all others, their unique selling points, is not a single weapon system or a particular technology, but the way all of it works together as a networked, global force. Unlike regional powers, the United States Navy can deploy anywhere in the world, at any time, with the ability to maintain operations indefinitely. Their ships are supported by aircraft carriers, submarines, supply vessels, and air power, creating an ecosystem of dominance. For an adversary like China, this means they are not just facing one ship but the combined force of an entire navy designed for global control. The U.S. Navy's ability to project power, enforce freedom of navigation, and maintain presence across international waters is what makes it unmatched. Its warships are not just tools of war but instruments of strategy, diplomacy, and deterrence. All of this power comes at a staggering price. A single advanced destroyer can cost over $2 billion to build, not including the billions more required for maintenance, crew training, and continuous upgrades. Aircraft carriers cost even more, often exceeding $13 billion per vessel. Critics argue about the costs, but the investment reflects a simple truth: the United States values dominance at sea as essential to its global strategy. That price buys not just steel and weapons, but decades of technological development, rigorous testing, and unmatched operational capability. It buys the ability to secure trade routes, protect allies, and deter adversaries. When China challenges a U.S. Navy ship, it is not just confronting hardware, it is confronting decades of investment in maintaining control of the world's oceans. So when the incident unfolded, when Chinese vessels and aircraft tried to shadow, harass, or intimidate the American ship, the results were inevitable. The U.S. Navy ship, calm and steady, continued its mission, demonstrating restraint but also resolve. The Chinese forces may have seen it as a test of sovereignty, but to the world, it revealed the vast imbalance in capability. While China's naval power has grown dramatically in recent years, it is still a regional force trying to expand influence, whereas the United States Navy is a global force with unmatched reach. The encounter was a symbolic reminder: challenging a U.S. warship may be bold, but it is also reckless, because the gap in capability is too vast to ignore. In the end, the conclusion is clear. The exterior of these ships projects dominance, the interior ensures efficiency and readiness, the performance demonstrates unmatched versatility, the safety features guarantee survivability, the unique selling points establish global superiority, and the price reflects the world's most advanced military investment. China's challenge may have made headlines, but in reality, it was a big mistake, one that highlighted the differences between a rising power and a superpower that has ruled the seas for decades. The United States Navy is not simply a fleet of ships, it is a manifestation of strategy, technology, and history, designed to ensure that no rival can ever wrest control of the oceans without paying an unbearable price. For those who underestimate it, the consequences are clear, and history has shown time and time again that challenging it leads to lessons learned the hard way.